Say today's session, we will discuss about LAMP installation. So LAMP configuration I may call. So what is the meaning of LAMP here is L stands for Linux. L stands for Linux. A stands for Apache. Instead of Apache, we may use Nginx also. Instead of Apache, we may have Nginx also. And M stands for MySQL, and P is used for PHP. So this is one of the technology stack. Previously, like 90% of the websites all over the world are going to be used LAMP setup. Okay, so what is the meaning of LAMP here? What is the meaning of LAMP? Linux. L is Linux. Anyhow, we are going to use operating system is Linux itself. Then A is Apache, and M is MySQL, and P is PHP. And instead of MySQL, some of the companies may use MariaDB also. Some of the companies may use MariaDB also. So MariaDB is also is nothing but a MySQL fork itself. MariaDB is also is one of the MySQL fork itself. So these all the installations we are going to use. Say if you want Linux in AWS, what we need to do? If you want Linux on AWS, what we need to do? Say we need to take an EC2 instance. We need to take an EC2 instance with any of the Linux flavors, like that's maybe Ubuntu, Red Hat, Amazon Linux, CentOS, Debian, Fedora, whatever it may be. So we need to take one Linux instance. On top of that, we need to open the port numbers 80 or 443. Then we need to set up, say already Linux is there, but that technical stack is called as LAMP. Then we need to deploy PHP-based applications. So we need to deploy the PHP-based applications on top of LAMP. On top of LAMP, we need to deploy PHP-based applications. We need to deploy. Okay. So for these PHP-based applications, like we need a database. That database is MySQL. Okay. So previously we have taken only static websites. But now here we are going to deploy the dynamic websites we are going to use. Dynamic websites we are going to use on this. Okay. So then here we have one tutorial. We will take Amazon Linux. Okay. So this session I will share on Amazon Linux. Going forward, we need to do with Ubuntu also. So we have already all the steps. Okay, for the LAMP installation. So now LAMP installation on Amazon Linux. You just Google this. So now here install a LAMP server on Amazon Linux 2023 we have. What is this AL 2023? Amazon Linux. Say Ubuntu we have 20.04, 22.04, 24.04 like this. Amazon Linux latest package is 2023. Previously we have Amazon Linux 2, but in this we are going to use 2023 image. So on top of this, we are going to deploy our application. Okay, so now here we need to install the LAMP server. So once we connect to the installer, say we use yum or apt, but DNF is also one of the package. So here we have some of the packages we are installing using DNF. Okay, so what is a HTTPD? What is a HTTPD? HTTPD is nothing but it's Apache. wget is one of the package. PHP like a to connect with PHP with the MySQL, JSON, Devel. These are all the different PHP applications also we are going to install. In the LAMP, we are not installing one component. Any idea what is that? We are not installing one component here. What is that? So which software we have not installed here? So we are not installed here still database. In the next step, we'll install the database also. In the next step, we'll install the database also. Okay, so now for this, I'll take one Amazon Linux. So instead of IAM user, I'm going to log in as a root user. One second, let me get the password. And I have tried to create the IAM users. So if not done IAM and VPC videos also, try to finish those videos also. One second, let me get that password. So now, so here I'm logged into AWS. I'm going to create one Amazon Linux. I'm going to create one Amazon Linux. So already one web server is there. I'll terminate this. Then I'm going to launch an instance. I'll call this as a LAMP server. The LAMP server. And here if we take Amazon Linux, say here try to understand. Here we have Amazon Linux 2023 we have, and we have Amazon Linux 2 also. But as of now, we are taking Amazon Linux 2023. 2023 I'm taking, and T2.micro LAMP server I'm giving, and I'm creating the key pair also with the same name. Then as of now, I have open only SH22, and I want to increase more size also. And 80 I didn't open. Later I'll open that 80. Then launch the instance. Launch the instance also. Then like our instance is getting connected, we'll connect you to this instance. We'll connect you to this instance. So meanwhile, I'll convert that PEM key into ppk file. I'll copy this public IP. SH authentication credentials, that ppk file, and in the appearance also I'm going to change the size of it. Sorry, here is Amazon Linux, right? What is the username? Okay, so instead of again starting from scratch, I can go to here, duplicate session, or I can restart the session. Okay, so now it's Amazon Linux. So that is the reason the username is EC2-user. EC2-user. Say here for today, I'll give one assignment. Say once you connect to that any of the Linux operating system, try to understand, say, which type of kernel it is, what is the kernel version, and what is the operating system version. Okay, so kernel version is different, operating system is different. Okay, so now how to get these two? Like you need to tell me the commands. So what are the commands we need to know? So how to know the kernel version, and how to know the which OS we are using. So once you connect to any of the instance, we should able to identify these two details. Okay, so then like if you come to those lab steps, say why I have given this assignment is each and every step here easily we can get that. Say all these steps have been there here, hence everyone can practice this. I shared this link also. Okay, so everyone follow this link, install LAMP on Amazon Linux. So one of the mistake people may like doing is instead of 2023, they may have opened the session of 2020, sorry, Amazon Linux 2 image steps they're going to perform here. Then these all the steps we need to perform. DNF upgrade is nothing but like it's just like M or apt. DNF is also is one of the packager. So I'm going to perform sudo DNF upgrade. So nothing to upgrade. Everything is up to date we have. Then except MySQL, we are going to install remaining all the prerequisites. wget is one of the small utility in order to download the files. Even in the previous session also, I used wget, and that static website URL if I given, it's downloaded the packages. Okay, wget will use to download the packages from the internet. So now we have installed. HTTPD is nothing but Apache here, PHP prerequisites. Okay, then we are installing. In this tutorial, they are using MariaDB. MariaDB is also nothing but a MySQL fork itself. Okay, so technically, MariaDB, MySQL, two different kind of Linux flavors type. Maria is also MySQL kind of code itself. Okay, so if you have any support issues, if you use MySQL, will go to MySQL. If you have MariaDB, support-wise, you'll go to MariaDB. MySQL is an open source. From MySQL code, MariaDB have been developed. Just like on top of Linux kernel, how Ubuntu, Red Hat, all those have been developed. MariaDB is a fork of MySQL. Then in this use case, we are going to install Maria also. Okay, so it is prompting to yes. I have installed Maria also in this. So once I install the Maria, like here they have DNF info, that package name. In our scenario, it's MariaDB. So whether that has been installed or not, we can confirm. Okay, then using the systemctl, we are going to check the status. If that service is not running, we need to start, and even at the next system reboot also. Okay, so we need to enable systemctl enable httpd. Okay, so before that, if you want, you can check the status also, it's running, then you no need to start it. Okay, so now here is enabled will command will show whether that has been enabled or not. Okay, so is enabled will confirm us whether that command has been installed or not. Okay, and we need to open the port number 80. Then like that 80 page need to be open. I'll check whether that Apache page is opening or not. For that, in the security group, we need to open the port number 80 need to be opened. Now edit that inbound rule, add rule, then HTTP 80, and from anywhere have opened the security group and save that rule. Once it has been saved, okay, I'll copy that public IP of that instance. I'll open that public IP of that instance. So by default, our expectation is that Apache page should come. That is the page or not, we need to check. So now here we'll confirm whether that is it works. If this page is coming means in the index.html, they just kept this HTML page itself. We'll get a confirmation that Apache have been working fine. That Apache has been working fine for us. So now here we have some of the steps related to, we are creating a user, and EC2 user is adding to Apache group. Okay, so we are giving the permissions. So instead of giving chmod 777, they're doing all this. And here I'll show in the next session how to enable SSL kind of like we'll create SSL certificates and we'll encrypt that data also. Then like we are going to set up one PHP page. That PHP page, what it will do is it displays with all the PHP information. So we didn't added that to the group. That is the reason we are getting this problem. But here they have given some steps, right? You try to perform those steps. Then in this web page slash, if I'm getting this page, what is this meaning is PHP has been installed properly. PHP has been installed properly. Otherwise, it just only shows the HTML page of that PHP info itself. But it is dynamically, it is bringing all these details. If I'm getting this information means PHP have been installed, Apache also have been installed. Now I need to configure my database. And what is the database we have? MariaDB. And anyhow, the operating system is Linux itself. The operating system is the Linux itself we have. Any doubts on this? Yeah. Any doubts on this? Any doubts? Say here we are going to install. Then we are going to start the MySQL or MariaDB also. We'll go for MySQL or MariaDB also. So you don't do directly chmod 777, you don't do that. Say here we have created some of the users and given the group permissions, all those. Okay, so now DNF will list us like which of the packages have been installed on our mission. Then for the database, we are going to secure by setting up the password. Say for the database also we'll have a root login. I'm going to set the password, all those. For that, one of the MySQL command is there. MySQL underscore secure underscore installation. The MySQL secure underscore installation is one of the MySQL admin kind of command. Say here we need to set up the password. All these we need to do it. Okay, so now here I'm going to start the MariaDB. So if we are using MySQL server, then that MySQL we need to start. Then say here once we start this, I'm going to secure the installation. So here I'm going to secure the installation. So MySQL secure installation. As of now, the password for root is root. Here the root is not OS root. This is MySQL or MariaDB user root. Okay, but we didn't set any password here. Then like here we don't have any password. Say here no, I'm giving. So now it is asking to set up the new password. I'm setting up the new password. Okay, so remove anonymous users if you want to remove anonymous users. Okay, say you can remove and disallow root login remotely. That means others root login remotely I'm allowing, not allowing. Remove database. Tomorrow. Hmm? Yeah. So removing the database test users also. I'm removing. Reload privileges. Yes, I'm just to reflect that I'm going to reload all the privileges. Okay. So then in order to reflect again, we need the, so all yes only I have typed. Then I need to restart my MariaDB. Then I'm enabling this and check the status also. Now that is running. If that is, sorry, it's inactive. So still they're doing PHPMyAdmin. What is this PHPMyAdmin? We'll discuss. After PHPMyAdmin, here in this step, they have started the MariaDB. As of now, MariaDB is in the stopped state itself. No issues. I'll install PHPMyAdmin. So what is the meaning of PHPMyAdmin is, say PHPMyAdmin is one of the MySQL kind of administration console. In order to administrate MySQL, say we have MySQL command line tool we have. So we have a MySQL command line tool. So in the next sessions, we'll discuss, we require basic knowledge on SQL also, MySQL commands, all those also we required some knowledge. Then after we got the MySQL, then we need to go for like a workbench. MySQL itself has given one tool called workbench. So MySQL workbench is used to connect to your MySQL itself, but this is over GUI kind of thing, just like WinSCP. Like this, it's a not a command line tool. It's a MySQL workbench is MySQL workbench is it's not a command line tool. What is that MySQL workbench?
GUI.
It's a GUI kind of tool. Who provided that is MySQL itself have been provided. Now we have web-based console that is called as PHPMyAdmin. Don't get with PHPMyAdmin. Why it is called as PHPMyAdmin is that web application have been developed on top of PHP, but is used to administrate your MySQL server, and it's going to run on top of Apache or Nginx itself. Now, on top of our application, we are going to deploy PHP. Okay, say PHPMyAdmin. So I'm going to use PHPMyAdmin on top of my MariaDB. So now in order to done some dependencies also, they're installing some dependency packages also. So dependencies also have been installed. So in order to reflect that, restarting the Apache. Then PHP FPM also they're restarting. PHP hyphen. Yeah. So now, say here we need to go to CD var www.html. Sorry. CD HTML. In this, they are going to download PHP MyAdmin. We are going to download. So now here, if you go to this link, this is not the exact link, or we'll use wget tool in order to download. So this package, I'll try to download whether this is there or not in that web page. If it is not there, we can't open this. So now here they otherwise we'll go to here. From there, I'll download it. I'll try with this URL. It is downloading. That what is the name we got is PHPMyAdmin hyphen latest. And previously we got a zip file, right? But here we have a tar.gunzip. So this is the Linux extraction file. Now I'm going to create one directory PHPMyAdmin, and automatically I'm going to untar that using the tar hyphen xvzf. Forcefully, I'm going to copy into this PHPMyAdmin. So these all I'm performing through a single command. We'll discuss all these, how to unzip, all these also will. So now here, like we got one directory, PHPMyAdmin. In this, we have all these files have been copied. Then unnecessary files we are going to remove. So I'm going to remove, not from this, cd dot dot. Not cd. Yeah, I have removed that file. And if you want, you can remove that PHP my info. So PHP info dot PHP also. That is the page we have created only to check. Say in this, if I keep this PHP info, this code, if I keep, what it will display is this page it display. If I shows only this content only, what is that meaning is PHP is not installed properly. If you have only web server, then it won't come all these. Only that content only it displays. If it is showing all these means PHP have been installed on our mission. PHP has been installed on this mission. Okay, so we'll go for next step. That PHPMyAdmin also I'm going to open. Now PHPMyAdmin also I'm going to open. For this, I need to start my database. I need to start my database. So once database have been started, I'm not going to open PHP info. I'm going to open PHP MyAdmin. So now here this page is not available because Linux is case sensitive. In that PHPMyAdmin directory, M is capital, A is also is the capital. Okay, I hope you got it right. So in that Linux, it's a PHPMyAdmin. In that directory, M is capital, A is capital. If you give all those in the small letters, it is not taking. Then here we need to enter the username and password. So root is the username and I kept the password. In which command we kept this one? In which command we kept this? MySQL secure underscore installation. We type one command, right? MySQL secure underscore installation. At that moment, I set the password. Now I got this MySQL, PHPMyAdmin. This is the browser-based web console to administrate our databases. So by default, we got like some databases, but we deleted the like default databases also we deleted. Now you can create the new database or create the database. So we required basic knowledge on some DDL and DML based commands. So even we'll discuss those DDL and DML based commands also we are going to discuss. Okay, so we required database knowledge also we required. So then what we need to do this on top of this is, so any other steps we have PHPMyAdmin. I log into the PHP. Okay, so then here they have given some troubleshooting steps also. I'm going to deploy. Okay, we are going to deploy one PHP based application. I'm not going to deploy a static website. I'm going to deploy a dynamic website on this. I'm going to deploy a dynamic website in this use case. So in this dynamic website design, in the dynamic website design, I'm going to take one PHP application. In the PHP applications we are getting from one website called as PHP Gurukul.com. So everyone go to phpgurukul.com, and from the phpgurukul.com we can get our PHP up projects. So here we have the PHP projects, right? Go to core PHP applications. So left side here we have the PHP base applications we have. Okay, you choose one of the PHP base application. So maybe hostel management, hospital management, complaint management system, or online course, whatever the page you like, you just download that website. You just to scroll down. Yeah, here a small button is there, right? Download now. So now we need to download that complaint management system, and we are getting in a zip format. Extract this, copy this into the complaint management system. Okay, so then that they call as CMS. I'll copy this. I'll store this one in the desktop. So previously it's a static web content. But here we'll get the PHP pages. Who will write that is like a PHP developer will write the code. I'm copying this, but I need to copy this to my server. For that I'll use WinSCP kind of tool. So WinSCP I'm using. So if any latest versions of WinSCP those come, better to install those. Now host name is that public IP of the instance. So then username is EC2-user. Then go to advanced options. Authentication. That PPK file. Login. Now I need to copy this into where www html. Okay, so now in this, I want to copy my CMS page. My CMS page, I want to copy this. Now in the CMS page, if I go to check these files, so if you go to CMS files, so now here we have admin CSS, again we have some SQL file, PHP file is there. So by default, this index.php file will open. Previously, index.html it used to open, but now this index.php file. This file is going to open for us. Now instead of PHPMyAdmin, sorry, CMS, Complaint Management System. Okay, so lodge your complaint. So now here I'll try to log in as admin. So here I got one pay error. Okay, I'll try to log in also, or user login also. So what is the problem here is we didn't configure the database because it's not a static web content. Now in this use case, what happening is our PHP application is trying to contact database, but it's not able to establish the connection with the database. That is the reason we are getting the problem. So now that website, when I have downloaded, they have given us one SQL file also. The database name they have given is CMS. I'll deploy this database in my MariaDB. I'm going to deploy this one in my MariaDB. So now here I'll go for this databases, create a database, and CMS. I'm going to create one new database. So this is the database that our particular project database we need to set up. Then here import. They have given one SQL dump file. In my desktop also I have complaint management system SQL file, that CMS. I'm going to import it. Okay, so now that database have been imported. Now I'll try to open that web page. Still I'm getting that problem. So now in my PHP application, I need to specify where is my database server, then database name and DB credentials also. Those for our database we need to configure. Where is our database server and what is the database name, DB credentials. Say among these, what is CMS? What is CMS? Is it database server or database name or DB credentials name? What is that? So that is the database name. That is the database name we have. Okay, so now in this use case, I'll go to my PHP application code, say in the CMS. These all like will get in a documentation from the developer. Developer will give one README. In that he will specify all these. So now here, CSS, not CSS. Here normally include file would be there. Here we have include file. In this, we have one config.php. In that config.php, DB server, in our scenario, localhost itself, because MariaDB is also running on the same server and the username is root itself. But I have kept the password here, cloud@123, and database name is CMS itself. Now I'm going to save this. In my server itself, I have saved this. That is the purpose I have given chmod 777. That is the reason it allows me to save it. But normal instead of admin also, we will have one include file here also. Yeah, here also for the user also they have an include file. In this also I need to store the password. If my database is not in the same server, if it is in the remote server, then definitely I need to open that port number also. I need to open that port number also. Then save those changes. There may be PHP web server also. In the user we have. Yeah, so now it established the connection. It established the connection. And if I go to this website, they may give one sample username and password also for the user panel, like grmat.com, and the password is test@123. T is capital. Now, this PHP application is contacted our database, and from the database, we have all these total complaints, closed complaints, all these details, and from there it is going to store. And if I go for a large complaint, you can post a complaint also. These details also are going to store into database. So what is the database we have used in this use case? What is the date?
CMS.
Yeah, my MariaDB is the database. The MariaDB is the database we have used. Okay, so now if you want to open that admin panel, because we have open admin panel also, I set up the DB details, all these, maybe in the CMS, admin may be one backend panel. So for the admin, they have given these all normal in the real time also will get from the developer will get these all documentation. Admin, yeah, this is the admin panel details. Okay, so now in this use case, we deployed a web-based application. Okay, so here in our scenario, we use one RDBMS, that is MariaDB. But in our AWS environment or in the large scale environment, keeping that database on the same server is not at all recommended. We need to keep in the remote server. Then in that includes config.php, instead of giving that local host, that remote server IP address we need to give. And if it is a MySQL server, 3306, definitely we need to open in that server that port number, because that MySQL port number is 3306. If you don't open that port number, we are not going to establish the connection also. We are not going to establish the connection. Okay, so these all the setup we need to do. But in our AWS environment, we no need to create on a separate machine also database. We have a managed service, that is RDS. We'll do the same setup with the database also. But that database we are going to choose going forward, RDS. RDS stands for Relational Database Service From the AWS itself, we are going to get the database also. We no need to install, we no need to configure, we no need to take the backups. Okay, updates, rollbacks, high availability have been designed by the AWS itself. If you take on the instance, we are responsible to take care all that. Hence, in the real time for the production databases, it's recommended to go for RDS. So everyone need to set up this also. Then on top of this, we are going to configure. We are going to configure high availability and auto scaling also. So going forward, we'll enable auto scaling also. For this also, instead of using static web-based application, better to use the dynamic web-based application. Okay. Yeah, any doubts? In the tomorrow session, the same setup, I'll do it with Tomcat. Those also will set up. Okay. And MySQL, Python also will start parallelly. Okay. So today, tomorrow, most of them are in the festival moods. Okay. So from Wednesday onwards, we'll start that. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So tomorrow we don't have class. Here we have Ganesh Nimarjanam. Okay.
Yeah, okay, Sri.
And go through those videos also.